Welcome to another edition of the Prayer and Crew Show. Tonight we got a powerful show for you. We got the family of Khalil Azed here. They can go around. We're going to start with Lynette. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Hello, this is Lynette. I am Khalil's aunt. Um, I have been pretty much involved in a big part of his older years in his life, and he didn't even get to make it to 25 yet. But we was able to enjoy what God permitted us to have here with him. Khalil was soon to be a father who he has a young daughter, his first and only daughter, who he never had the opportunity to meet because shortly after he passed, his child was born. Um, and I'll let everybody else introduce themselves before I get to running my mouth.
My name is Mario. I'm Khalil's brother. And man, that's a lot I could say about him. But he was just one of the most genuine people I know. And honestly, he put a lot of people before himself and showed me in doing that, living for other people is the fastest way to die. Because, man, I just cost him in the end so much. And he didn't deserve that because, I mean, no one deserves nothing like what he went through. But I'm going to let you guys go.
I'm Maya. I'm Lynette's daughter. I'm here for moral support, New Khalil through them, and I'm just here supporting the cause because this just needs to be supported.
Thank you.
I'm James. I'm also a good friend of Khalil's. I'm here for moral support. He was a good friend of mine as well, and I'm here until we get the justice that we want from him. Man, I'm pretty sure that everybody knows that there's more to the story of what's going on, and I'm gonna be here every step of the way until we get the truth about what happened to our friend.
Indeed. Who hasn't went yet? So we're just going around introducing everybody who's on the call. Can we? So for people who don't know, Khalil had an incident with law enforcement where he was chased, and then he was ultimately found in Crystal Lake. And the report, they're claiming it was an accidental drowning, but the family has now seen the pictures, has gotten the report back, and the pictures show that he has bruises on his body, bruises on his face, bite marks, etc. Before we get started, I just like you guys to kind of just tell. We could start with Lynette. If you could just tell us who he was, things he liked to do, just what type of person he was, and if everybody could chime in on that too.
Khalil was a type of person that he was the light of the party. He always had a smile that even if you find yourself upset, he'd just look, make a joke, just smiling at you. He will make your spirits kind of just feel a different type of way, even if it was for a quick second. He was a type of young man that would help. And I'm going to speak just personally as an older woman in his life. If I needed help to put groceries away, he even took my son to his first job interview. And he sat in the car and he gave him tips on how to talk to these people at the interview and things like that. People don't know of him and didn't have the opportunity to learn about Khalil because his life was cut short. He was a loving, caring person. When I tell you, he wanted everybody to get along. He wanted everybody to love each other. If there was animosity within family, he didn't want to hear about it. He'll damn near go get one cousin and get the other cousin and put you in a car and tell both of them, we ain't finna do this. We need to figure it out because we're family. That's the type of person that he was. He was super excited to become a father. And one of the reasons why he wanted to be out, even though he faced his own life challenges, was to be able to witness his first and only child be born. And
Mm.
again, that was snatched away from him. Um, I can go on, but I'm not gonna take on that time. I just say that Khalil was an angel that was taken away and called upon too soon. And we weren't ready. And we definitely didn't want his child to be part of what we're feeling and to miss that. And he's missed, and we need to find justice for him. And I'm going to do everything in my power that I possibly can. And I'm not going to rest at all. I'm going to give it full force. He would do it for me, and he would do it for a lot of us if it ever came down to it. And it hurts. It really hurts.
Man, man, I'm so sorry you guys got to deal with this. But just from seeing you guys today and seeing everybody come together, I know he had to be a great person. Could somebody else tell us a little bit about Khalil? Memories, good memories and stuff.
Okay, should I go?
Go ahead.
Okay, my name's Gretchen. I'm the mother of Mario and the sister of Lynette. Khalil was not related to me, to us by blood. I know that Mario states brother and Lynette states. And the reason for that is the same reason I'm going to say the same thing, because sometimes loyalty makes you family, blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. And Khalil is just one of those people that he probably won't, we probably won't come across someone like that again in this lifetime. He's one of those people that, even though they don't share your blood, they literally impact you in a way where they leave a lasting experience. And you just know that even when you have a brother, sometimes you don't get a brother like that. So the experiences that Khalil left, the memories that he left, the smile when he lit up the room, he would be the type of person that if everyone was at war, you just knew it wasn't happening when Khalil walked in the room. It had to stop because he was trying to bring peace where there was division. He was trying to bring love where there was hate. He would try to bring calm where no one seemed to have that. We will all miss Khalil. Here it is, almost 7 months, 8 months later, and for us, it's it's very fulfilling to know that you guys are stepping up and giving him what he truly deserved. No one deserved to lose their life like that and not get to meet his daughter, not get to see her be born. Khalil had a rough upbringing as it is, and the one thing that he really, really, really wanted was to see his daughter. That was taken away from him. He didn't get an opportunity to see that girl smile, to come into the world, to hold her, to hear him call him dad. He won't see that. And the fact that anybody can do that, not to Khalil, to any human being, just makes us question who really is here to protect and serve. And where do you turn when you do need justice? When someone that is supposed to hold a badge and actually demand that for us can actually turn around and sweep this under the rug as if he was just a bag of trash. I don't understand. I will never understand. I believe in God. I don't question none of his decisions. And I have faith, and everything that's happening right now just shows me that he might not be there on time, but he comes when he's supposed to come. And I believe all of this was supposed to happen. I really appreciate you guys picking up this case, and I really hope this goes viral. Everybody sees it. Last year or the year before, it was Tyree the Tyree Nichols. Before that, it was, or after that, it was George Floyd. Last year it was Khalil, and next year we don't know who it's going to be. So honestly, somebody does need to make a stand and make a difference, and hopefully this will stop. You guys can get them to get these canines off the street. Khalil was not an animal. Khalil was not a dog. Khalil was a human being with a heart and a soul, and he made that impact wherever he went, whether it was children, adult, black, white, blue, green. He made everybody feel loved and special, and that is something that no one will be able to give us back.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anybody else want to chime in?
I'll say something. Khalil, he was a giant. He was legendary. He sacrificed himself to see everybody else win. Man, bro, this nigga's like one of the main characters. You just, no one thought he would die because he just was too alive to die. But, like, man, life got surprises for everybody, I guess. But, yeah, it's crazy because he just dedicated himself to everyone else so much that when he was finally gonna have a kid, I, I was with him. That's all he, like, it seemed like it felt like it could change him. And he didn't get to see it. Like 2 days after his funeral, we had to go to his baby shower. Like,
Wow.
it's like, it hurts and it feels good, but it hurt more than it felt good. Man, look, it's bigger than Khalil and everybody watching this shit. Hey, y'all let them keep doing it. They gonna keep doing it. They gonna keep getting comfortable, bro.
Uh, Thank you, man. Yeah, this is real hard. This is real hard. And anybody else want to go?
Yeah, I'm Khalil's baby mother, Carvana. Um, how did I just like I said, he waited his whole life to be a dad. Like his whole he made me take like 5 pregnancy tests to make sure it was real. Like he, like I said, he had a tracker on his phone before I did. He was tracking the baby's growth before I was even tracking the baby's growth. Like, I mean, like that's all he talked about. Like, and like Mario said, like he was too alive to die. Like, if you know my baby's father, he is a joyful person. Like you can't even get him to sit down. Like I used to just be like, sit down. You can't even get him to sit down. Like he's everywhere. He's alive. He's so happy. Like you said, like he wants everybody to have peace. Like he was one of the most alive people, and I'm glad that he had that in his spirit. Like I used to just be like, oh my God, can you calm down? But he didn't. He just was always grinning, always smiling. Like it's hard for me to really think too deep, about him not being a father, because I'm telling you, when I wake up, like she makes faces like him. Like she got his big ass nose, and if you know him, we always make fun of his nose. Like she is like him. Like he was a beautiful person. I'm not saying this, some people say it just because you're family. If he comes in contact with anybody, his smile will literally fulfill you just for that day, for that moment. He's a respectful man. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't deserve that. Like he said, he tried everything in the book to be home with his daughter. Like he tried everything in the book to see her born. Like he was almost there. Like he almost made it. Like, like he was trying everything he could do to be for his daughter. So like he needs justice. My daughter needs justice. And like I said, these police can't keep killing black men. They just it's like black men don't even grow old no more. Like, I mean, like they can't keep killing black men. Like we have to do something. Khalil was loved. He has a child that she can't, we can only tell her so much. You know what I mean? If that would have changed his whole life to have her. So I'm just saying, like, he was a good person. He was loved. And like I said, I want to fight the whole way, whatever we have to do. you know, like, and I appreciate all of this happening. And that's really all I have to say right now. But I appreciate it.
No doubt. This family definitely needs justice, and BLM Minnesota and our affiliate organization partners are going to be here with you guys throughout till that happens. Is there anybody else who wants to chime in about just fond memories or what kind of person he was?
Well, I want to say one quick thing, and I honestly believe everything happens in divine timing. And March 24th, coincidentally, would have been Khalil's 24th birthday. So the fact that this is all happening at the end of February, going into March, just to me is like his own spirit. I'm a very spiritually inclined person, and I believe that his spirit is actually making all of this happen so that he can get some justice, because he is not resting in peace, because he knows what he did, was done to him was wrong.
Indeed.
I would like to say something about Khalil. My name is Misty. He is my son's friend. My son has been gone for a while, and I didn't know Khalil personally like that, but my son is incarcerated in prison, and Khalil reached out to me, got my number, and he would just pop up at my house with just money out the blue. Not that I even needed it, but he would be like, "Here you go. Here, go buy you and your daughter something. Go out to eat. I'm gonna buy you some groceries, And these are things that he know that I didn't even need help with, but just the him reaching out. I mean, he would call me early in the morning, like, I'm by your house. I'm about to pull up really quick. And he would come at like 9 o'clock in the morning, just randomly. A few weeks before everything happened, him and Mario came to my house, and they just sat and hung out. And he just showed me pictures of him and my son hanging out. And he just made me feel so good because my son's not here, and he just would just come and just share memories with me and just let me know, like, if I needed anything. And he was just like, I'm about to have a baby. I'm so happy. I'm gonna make sure you're at the baby. He was just a lovable person, like a very lovable person. I can't even say nothing. Like, when he would come, I would just be so happy, and he would give me such a big hug, and I just be like, wow, like, you really are making me not miss my son so much. So I just wanted to put that out there because he didn't have to come and offer anything to me because he know I didn't need it, but he did.
And wow, that's beautiful, man. And that just the kind of person I can see he impacted this family and his community greatly. So I can tell that he's greatly missed. When did you guys first hear about what happened to him, or how were you notified that this happened?
Well, me.
He,
Okay, go ahead. Whoever's gonna speak.
well, okay. I'll just tell you how it happened with me. Me and Khalil were planning to go to Florida, and it was hard to get a rental, so we were in a hotel for about a week straight, and then we couldn't get one till after the 4th of July because they were all rented out. So I just said wait till after the 4th, and we'll go. And on the 3rd, he left, and the people he left with didn't come back with him. They said that they had got pulled over, and that Khalil had ran, and that they think he got away. But we waited for days, 3 days approximately. So, and then my cousin called me and he told me Khalil was dead. And then I called Khalil's mother, and she just kept saying my son is dead. So around July 3rd is when he went missing, and the 6th is when they found him.
The fifth, I think. The fifth.
And that's it. The thing is, when you go look at it on Google and you type in Khalil Azad, it doesn't say anything about a car chase or the police. It just says they found
Yeah.
a body and determined him to be dead. And the only reason that we even know about that it was a high speed is because the people who were in the car with him that told the police they didn't know him, they actually did know him. So they probably didn't expect his family to know about a high speed at all. They just expected to find the body at the lake and probably didn't expect him to find it so soon as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I know for me, I live in Florida. The person they were trying to come to the house they were to is my house in Florida. I'm Mario's mom again. I keep hearing from everybody, from my other nephew, from somebody else really wanted to get to me because according to even what he told his baby's mom, he also said I have down. He knows I'm very spiritually inclined. I wanted to ask him a lot of questions, stuff like that. And we waited and waited and waited and waited for them to come, and they never made it. So while everybody's, get things together for the fourth and expecting to see them and get together and be with family and friends and enjoy a good time, that never happened. Fourth of July was ruined. There was no celebration because what we were looking forward to on the Fourth of July was happy days, happy memories, and literally what we got on the 5th just changed everything because everybody knew that on the 3rd, nobody knew where Khalil was. Everybody was worried, stressed out. Here comes the 4th. It's not normal for his baby's mom not to see him, my son not to see him. He didn't come down here, which were their plans. My sister didn't see him. Nobody knew where they were at, and everybody was looking for Khalil. And then we find out that, when my sister told me that she called me on the phone, I was shocked. I dropped the phone. I couldn't believe it because I just don't know what to expect nowadays when I hear the phone after watching the news all the time. But I didn't expect that. I mean, a million things could have ran through my mind, but I seen them coming to Miami. I did not think I was going to get a call on the 5th or the 6th saying that Khalil passed away. I honestly didn't believe it. And still to this day, it's hard to even fathom the reality of the fact that Khalil is really gone, that he's not here, that he's not coming back because he was just the life of the party. He lit up the room, he walked in it. Whenever he walked in a room, he lit it up. He made everybody smile, made everybody happy. So now it's like everybody's got a dark cloud over them that just won't shift.
Mm.
I would like to speak. So how Khalil wanted to be here for the birth of his baby, but he knew he was in some trouble with the law enforcement. Okay, so if you know me, like I usually don't like if we got into it, I usually won't go with Khalil. After like about 2 days, then we're back together. But he told me like I'm going to Florida. He was going with his brother Mario. So I was like, okay, yes, that's just good for you to do it till we can make it to so you can be in that room when I delivered the baby. That's what we're trying to get to. So it was the 4th of July when everyone started calling me, freaking out. And then I like I said, it was 4th of July. It was like we had the same phone account. I'm logging in, I'm calling everybody. Everybody's in a frantic, everybody's looking.
Mhm.
And then like something like his brother, his name is we call him Keemer. He was the one that told me like he's dead. And I was actually at work. I was on the computer and I talked to people every day. I just screamed. And like Gretchen said, I thought like because his life was so hard, I thought he could make it through anything in this world. Like I swear I never he had such a hard life, but I thought he could make it through anything in the world. Like I just I just it's just not him. I literally thought he could make it through anything in the world. So I don't even know how to explain it. It's like it was like everybody was trying to we all had one goal to get him to a safe destination just so he could see his child born. And then we could have handled everything else after that. And it's like and we didn't fail, but it hurts everybody's heart because everybody has just like if we could have did this different or we could have did this different or we could have did this different, he would have been here. And he just couldn't be here. We just couldn't get him there. We couldn't get him there. So now my baby can't see him. This is it's just really devastating.
I want to mention this fact because you might not see no tears in my eyes. Life has put me in a situation where I've become very, very, very strong. But my heart hurts when it comes to Khalil, but I don't also want to overlook any facts that can also help us in resolving what happened to him and getting justice for him. There was also an issue that Carvana also, from what she told me, has pictures of this. Before this even happened to Khalil, I personally think that the police had it out for him for a while. And this is just something that they figured, like, we're just gonna get this black man out the way, and we're not gonna deal with him no more. Because even before this happened to Khalil, when he went to jail before 3 years prior, he had a car accident where he actually got hit by a semi truck and he
Mm.
broke his neck. And he was actually preparing to file a lawsuit because of what happened to him, and it was the semi truck's fault. And when this happened to Khalil, several weeks or a day, or a few days after that, I'm not sure what the reason was. I think maybe he had something with probation where he had to turn himself in or something like that. And when the cops found Khalil or got a hold of him, they beat the crap out of him. And even though that he had the brace on his neck, he had an accident, he reported all that. They put him in jail, which is fine. If you commit a crime or you do anything, you go to jail. But they didn't have no right even then to beat him the way they did. That man had just had a car accident. He had a brace on his neck. He was suffering. He was in pain. He was going through a lot. He didn't get hit by a car or truck. He got hit by a semi, and they beat him, so I'm surprised on that occasion that they didn't beat him to death. So if it didn't come then, obviously it came 3 years later, but in the end they got what they were looking for. It almost seems premeditated because this is what they do to a lot of black men, but in his case in particular, it seems like they really had it out for him, because this is not the first incident that they actually beat him to death. Well, it's the first one that beat him to death, but it's not the first one that they actually beat him with that type of severity. Now they just let the dogs out and literally just let him, just they killed him, honestly, in my opinion. But I just thought I had to put that out there. And Carvana does have pictures from what she told me, brace in the neck and the incident. And I'm not sure if anybody has a copy of doctor's reports or anything like that, because like I said, I'm here in Miami, but these are things that I've heard, and I knew of the situation and I felt bad then, but I just never thought that it was to the point where he would actually lose his life in.
Wow. So I didn't know that he had actually got beaten by the police 3 years ago and that he had a neck brace on. So that is very significant to this situation. Mario, did you
Hey,
want
what's
to
going
chime
on?
in? Was good. Did you want to chime in about some of the things you had talked about earlier?
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Well, just going through the whole process, like from since I was with the driver or the car with the girl's named Sahara, and he was with his brother Moses, and just because he's my brother, I'm there every step of the way. I'm bringing her to the impound lot with a lawyer, so the lawyer could try to see the car and they would take pictures. And they only time they ever let her see the car was the first time, and then we went to Crystal Lake for a candlelight. We had an encounter with the police, and during that encounter, I learned more. But even after that, that next day when we went to go see the car was gone, and we couldn't see it anymore. We had to have all type of documents signed, and it was just a lot of runaround. Besides that, at Crystal Lake, when we were there, we were just sitting there, mourning, and a cop pulled up for a while. He was just watching us, and then another one pulled up, and then they told us we had to leave the park. And then they pulled back, I'd say about 20 feet away, and parked and just watched everyone. And people told me not to, but I walked over there just to see, like, what's the problem with us being here. But when I walked over there, as soon as I got to the cop's door, he shined his lights on his roof like really bright, so I couldn't see his face. And I had to bend over and look at him. And I just asked him simply because there were people walking literally past his passenger window at the moment I'm talking to him, which I said, "Did you tell them that same thing?" And he didn't even look at them. He said, "I didn't see them. They're leaving." And then I said, "You know, my brother died in this lake, right?" And it didn't take me till months later, honestly, to really realize, because I already knew from the energy that he was involved. But he never even said my condolences. He never said, "I'm sorry to hear that," nothing. He said, "No, who?" And from that, plus, I just said, I knew. I was like, "What's your name?" And then he said, "What's your name?" And I didn't even mean to, honestly. Shit, after that, I then was like, "Damn, oops." But I said Khalil, but I did not want to tell him my name, honestly. But besides that, "What's your name?" And he said, "Sergeant." And I said, "Sergeant what?" And all this is verbatim. I have an immaculate memory. And he said, "Sergeant Kane." And I said, "Okay." As I was talking to him, my son Marion and some random person she was saying is waving a gun at my family, and a lot of them are licensed to carry, so it's a good thing they have patience, and they see a cop right there, so they had a little more patience. But the cop sitting here talking to me, and I told him, "Okay, Sergeant Kane, what you finna do?" He's like, "Oh yeah, you guys need my help." I was like, and then he's still Lamarion's still screaming at him, and then I was like, "You gonna do something?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm just here to keep everybody safe," and winked at me. And then my other cousin came up and started yelling, "What the are you doing?" And and he was like, "Who?" And then he pointed at the guy running across the street, and he started driving over there. See what's going on. He got a gun on everyone. I don't know why you have that. Getting
So you're breaking up a little
and we
bit.
had a confrontation with the rest. You can hear me?
I can't now. If you can speak,
Hello?
kind of speak up, and then yeah, I can hear you now. If you can speak up and speak into the mouth, to the mic. So you're saying
I got you.
the cop pulled up to the visual and ended up pulling a gun on you guys.
Yeah. He was arresting and who all started coming across the streets. Who was getting closer, so he pulled out a gun.
Lynette, weren't
And
you there?
they
Weren't you
were
there,
all
Lynette?
aggravated and yelling, and everybody was emotional. But he's back up in class, so they were all pulling up while he's doing all this. After that, we had another encounter where I was all on camera. We know it was a high. I know okay. There's a lot of other cops that are there.
I think we might have lost him for a second.
I'm gonna kind of chime in what he was explaining because I was one of the people outside with them.
Okay.
When we was outside, kind of just mourning the loss, it was literally the day after that the body was found in that lake. I don't stay too far from the lake. We all had called a round of people. We were all out there. The cop pulled up, and the approach that he had was not the best approach. It was kind of rude. Like, you guys got to clear up. It wasn't even 10 o'clock at night yet. That was one of my alarms. It was like, you would normally think that you would pull up and you want to see if there's some drinking going on, if there's some loud music. We didn't have any of the sort. It was just people kind of just hanging around and talking and just bringing up memories and everything that had played on. When that had occurred, I told the officer, we're not doing anything. We don't have the music loud. We're just kind of out here mourning my nephew's loss. Um, but we're not doing much. He said, "Well, you guys can't be hanging around out here. I'll give you guys about another 20 minutes." He never left the premises of where we were already sitting at. He kind of went a few feet away, reversed his vehicle, and that's when my son and Mario had went, and he told you what happened over there. I didn't know because I stayed on the other end. But another male had some verbal altercation words with one of the other young men that were there mourning Khalil's loss. And that guy came back about 20 minutes after they had their situation, and he pulls out a gun. Minding you, I have my children outside. There's other people out there with me. I also have my license to carry as well. This man was waving his gun, and clearly the officer who's reversed can clearly see what's happening. This cop never at no point, if you're worried about us making noise and you want us to clear the space and you can see that there's another guy pointing a gun at a crowd, you would think that he would automatically zoom up with his vehicle, have some type of restraint, some force. It didn't hit that cop or the other squad that came in until my other nephew, Keemer, had started getting irate, cussing out the cops. Do you see this guy with a gun? Do you not see that our life is being in danger? You know, he's kind of getting, he's snapping the shit that I would do. Excuse my language. That's when they responded. They kind of drove on top of the curb. And when I tell you within 4 minutes tops, they called the helicopters out. And that was alarming to me because it's like that quick, you guys got a helicopter out. But this guy that you guys are saying that is running in foot, did you guys get a helicopter out this fast? Did you guys get backup out here this fast? So that was one of those alarming moments to me is, wow, look how quick they respond to us just being outside in this situation. I wish that they had that speed, that drive to do the same when Khalil was being supposedly looked for. And that to me sounded like a lot of bullshit at that point. The guy's energy when he was going back and forth with my nephews, he made a remark and my nephew went live with it. You know, he was upset, he was hurt and crying and saying, you guys know you guys had an involvement to do with my brother and him dying. One of the officers responded like, do you want to be a victim? And one of these guys got to have that audio and that video because it was on Facebook Live, it was recorded, you know.
Wow.
And I was speaking in Spanish to let them know, don't inform them of too much because I don't want them to be too aware and try to prepare themselves for what's possibly going to hit them eventually. And so as I'm explaining these things to them in Spanish to kind of get them to calm down, the police officers were being total jerks. Their response, their ignorance, it was just like,
Can I tell you guys something? Listen to me.
it was
Listen to
like
me.
a
Can I say one
laugh.
thing? Listen. I just gotta say this. When he told me I'm here to keep everyone safe, I knew what he was talking about. He was saying everyone's not safe here. I caught it. It was like literally, that's why he winked at me and was trying to be funny. You know why? Because he wanted me to know that they were proud of what they did. Like literally, he wanted me to know that. Like that's my work. You see, yeah, y'all might want to stop looking for stuff over here because ain't nothing for y'all. That's what he was trying to tell me. Hey, I see you though. I caught it. I caught it. Literally. It wasn't no type of I'm sorry, no type of sympathy, empathy. It was just stone cold. It was eerie, like a movie on him almost.
I'm not sure if they also informed you of the homeless man that lived in that same bench where Khalil's body was found. The guy is a homeless man, and when I seen him about 4 days later, I went back over there to put some flowers in the lake, and I was on a video visit with one of my other nephews that's incarcerated because he wanted to pay his respects. He's incarcerated, so he couldn't see him. When I took the phone over there, I see the homeless guy. They beat the shit out of him. And I asked him who did it, and he said to me, I don't know, but the cops told me that I'm stirring up a lot of trouble over here in the neighborhood. Since that last conversation, when I seen that homeless man, I have not seen him anymore. And I feel like because he was there sitting on that bench, he was told the day they were on that high speed chase with Khalil to leave away from that area where he was sleeping and to stand his ass across the street. That's exactly what the guy told me. He said, yeah, they yelled at me and they told me, get your ass across the street and you stay there until we get done here. He said he heard some running and then he just heard nothing after that. But then one of the cops noticed he was laying on the bench and it startled the cop, he believes. And the cop told him, get your ass across the street until we call you to come back over here. And he informed us all in a crowd of the day that we went back over there again, just mourning and just releasing balloons. Actually, I got a couple of videos of the guy kind of explaining the scenario and what he witnessed before they told him to leave that area.
So yeah, and so he actually get beat up, the homeless man?
They beat the shit out of him.
Mm. So did he see the body get pulled out of the lake, or he was there when the actual incident happened?
He was there. He was explaining how he remembered the car hitting something and then just the foot race, with the cops chasing Khalil.
So
He
he said the
remembered.
cops actually chased Khalil
Oh
there
yes. Oh
on
yes.
foot.
It's on video. The
Okay.
good thing is that one of the girls that were there, she was smart enough to record this conversation because he's a homeless man. You know, if he does come up missing, ain't nobody really going to look for him. You know what I mean? And so the fact that brought that up today at that place where we just met, one of the girls said, "Yeah, I do got the video." She submitted it to me, so it's good to just have a visual of who exactly we're looking for. Ever since then, we don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, that's devastating, and and that's why it's hard for people to come forward with their stories because they don't want to be retaliated against, and that's why I'm proud of all of you guys for standing up and doing what's right in this situation and not succumbing to fear of white supremacy.
Well,
What
I
do
fear
you
God.
go? Go ahead.
I said I fear no man but God. And
Mm.
whoever right wrong down justice, so Lil deserves justice. He can't speak for himself, so it's on us to speak for him. Another thing that I want to be noted is that the officer Kane specifically, he has a record on file that charges were filed on him by a Mr. Thompson, I believe, for excessive police force. I don't know how that ended, but he has a history of using force against black people.
Oh, so that was a black person whose nose he broke?
So Mario, was that
Yeah, Mario was going to tell us about it, but I think his line is breaking up. But yeah, it does say here that he did he broke a guy. Thompson testified that he did not lunge or otherwise attack the officers. He testified that he was pulled down and out of the car by Marson and Khan. And Khan was the person that was talking to you guys about being safe, correct? And then it says, regardless of Thompson's body came out of the car door, and it is undisputed that Kane delivered two closed fist punches to Thompson's face. The officers handcuffed Thompson, moved him out the road, and laid him in the grass. So yeah, that's one of the officers from Robbinsdale that you guys were dealing with
yeah?
that evening. What does justice look like to you guys? What do you guys want to see happen in this situation?
Me personally, like you guys said, that the family, other family members and whatnot were asking for is one to get these dogs off the street. Like these people are humans, bad enough if they're getting punched, kicked, beaten by the cops, thing they carry on them, but to throw dogs on them and eat, like literally, it's like they're cannibals. You're eating people alive. If Khalil was getting eaten by dogs, he was alive when he was getting eaten by dogs. Could you imagine?
Mm,
Imagine a dog. I can't imagine getting bit once by a dog. Can you
right,
imagine in a position where you can't defend yourself? And dogs, Lord knows how many of them were there, were all biting you all over at the same time. His eyes are bulging out of his face. That
exactly,
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all I can say is Satan's on earth, and obviously Satan's walking around with a badge.
mm,
Because there are certain things when you're a cop, take an oath, to protect and serve. And we all know that there's situations that they get put in when you got to save your life. But why would you stick a dog on them? You could have threw him in jail. You could have thrown him
exactly,
back to the. There was more than one cop there. They could have arrested him. They could have put him in jail. But at least he would be alive to make a phone call. At least, he would have took a breath the next day. At least he would have been able to walk out of there at some point, But to take him away from his family, to not give him the chance to meet, greet, or see his daughter, to take his last breath away like they did George Floyd. Come on, man. This is
mm,
ridiculous. There's some type of end to such nonsense. At some point, you don't get this authority. Like, you're not God. You're not God,
exactly.
and you shouldn't have power to take away life because you're not him. It doesn't make sense. Me, justice looks like somebody needs to lock them away and throw them. Somebody needs to lock them away and throw away, lock them up. And honestly, they should turn it any black man out there walking, talking, driving, speaking, whatever they're doing. If they're still out there, they're a threat to any black man they come across. Just having that badge on, that does not give you a right to kill. You have a badge to protect and serve. And if you're not utilizing it for that reason, you need to turn in your badge.
Exactly. Anybody else that want to say what they want to see happen as a result to what happened to Khalil?
Yeah, I definitely want these people to eventually, some way, somehow, and I hate to say it, and maybe this is just me from hurt. I want them to understand that you just took this man away from a family. You just took this man away from his daughter, who he literally with. And these cops get to go home to their family. They get to wake up. So they need to be punished some way, somehow. Y'all need to feel some understanding to our pain. And I don't know if that comes with jail. I don't know if that comes with your wives or your husbands divorcing you, whatever it is you got going on, and saying you're a sinking with, these families probably don't even know the type of individuals that they're married to. The police system may not even know how they're suppressing and covering up all this stuff. Robbinsdale is such a small community that they keep a lot of stuff well hidden. And it's time for them to be exposed. It's time for somebody to pay, and it's time for them to get a little limelight shined on. They're all in the inner city, but they're forgetting that there's a lot of shit happening here too. So it's time for us to stand up and say, enough is enough. We need some type of justice. I don't know if it's with a whole package, you guys being suspended, eventually getting terminated, but they should not be police. Police is supposed to supposedly protect and serve. The only thing they're serving is a lot of dead bodies. And the only thing they're protecting is
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wants to say what they would like to see happen as a result of?
Okay. Well, I mean, considering that cruel and unusual punishment is illegal in all of America, I feel like somebody got to see this and not act blind and do something. But besides that, it's even more things they've done to cover it up, that it just shows that this is something that's not new. This is something that they're comfortable with because they know of other people who have done it and got away with it. This is something that they know they honestly thought they had figured out.
Man,
And
indeed.
one thing
And
I want to,
okay,
another
well,
thing
go ahead,
that
you can speak.
I happened, which you guys already mentioned it. I just want to make sure again. We want immediate release of body cam footage and all video surveillance that captured the moment from the time they began chasing Khalil until we know what happened to the body of Khalil and how did he end up with all of those holes, dog bites, scratches, scars, and everything he had on him. Because the last time we seen Khalil, the last time my son and those that are family members and friends made contact with Khalil, he did not look nowhere similar to what the pictures look like. So that, like you guys said, nothing in that lake could have done that to him. Something did that to him, and we want to see. We want the world to see what happened. We want
Exactly.
the outside investigation, the outside autopsy that has nothing to do with Hennepin County, Robbinsdale, with no authority, where someone can actually say the truth, tell the truth, so we can get facts, so we can get justice, so he can get closure, so he can have peace, because he's not resting in peace right now. Another thing I
Right.
want to add, I don't know if Mario clarify that for me, but Mario did not send me pictures of one or two of them police officers that they're actually part of the held offhand.
Oh yes, okay. Well, because I got all the way up to the part where the encounter at the lake, but after that, like I said, the next day we went to go get the car, and now we were no longer able to see it. And when usually someone's car is impounded, they only release it to the owner or the insurance. But we went up there multiple times. They gave us a hard time. Then they told us they released it to a place called Schmitty's Towing. And I looked Schmitty's Towing up, and it says on their website that they work with the sheriff's office. So I went to the address there, but it brought me to a post office. But then I went to the building next to the post office, and it was their actual address. And when we got in the gate, they instantly didn't want to talk and wanted us to turn around. None of their phone numbers worked. My cousin had to email their boss to actually get any type of response, and I can send you what he sent me after this, pretty much saying that they were going to junk the car because it's so many days. But it was like it was all happening so fast. How are you guys moving this car to 3-4 locations? And then I got on Schmitty's website. When you just as soon as we look them up on Google, and they're like one of their slogans is "I make cars disappear. What's your power?" And it's crazy. I've never seen the car again. Like, glad we
And
got pictures the first time now.
yeah, and
So
this they actually
And Schmitty is a part of the Hell's Outcast bikers, and Robert Kane has a motorcycle tattoo on his arm, so it kind of starts making sense to me after a while. The
So they
connections.
and they just put out a there's supposed to be a law I know that the Attorney General was working on so that white supremacists cannot be police officers
Well,
here in the
they're
state of
good at
Minnesota.
hiding it then, because they're police officers.
And this is just proving that there is a problem with white
there
supremacists
he,
on police forces here in the state of Minnesota.
Oh no, they're strategic. This is planned out. There's no
yes.
way that they are now the majority in the precinct. Like the person who isn't racist is the outcast now.
And they're making money by owning tow trucks and stuff like that, or companies.
They got a lot of connections. They got a lot of resources,
It
and
seems
they
like
already got plan A, B, and C set up. But what they didn't expect is anyone to find his body that fast. They didn't expect that Sahara and the other person in the car actually knew Khalil. So when they drove off, those strangers wasn't gonna look for him, and all we was gonna find was a body. But since we know them and they told us it was a police chase, besides that, once his mother showed people the photos, it was just inevitable and undeniable.
Can I get one clarification from you because I'm having trouble under? So you're saying the car that they were in is gone now?
I mean, I went with Sahara to I don't know how many different attempts and locations to try to see this car, and so I never got to see it. She never got obtained her car back. We don't have it,
and this
but
is her
we have
car that
photos
she
of
had
it.
full coverage insurance on.
That was in her name. That was paid for
It was in her
all
name. She had
together.
a license. She had full coverage insurance. They had no right to literally deny her access to her own car. And then they told it somewhere that when they looked everything up in the website, it basically leads to a place that says, "We disappeared your cars. What's your
And
superpower?" That's connected to the white
Hell's
supremacists, those
Outcasts
outcasts, and all of
and
them.
white supremacists, they have a skull and crossbones as their logo.
Wow,
What does that have to do
man!
with towing?
I want to thank you guys for coming on and discussing this tonight. We have the a visual set up. You guys are gonna that you guys are we're organizing with you guys. That's gonna take place this Thursday, 6:30 p.m. at Crystal Lake, where his body was found. So
When we posed the question to the people who know what happened, like Robert Kane, what happened? Because you know what happened. So literally, the people who was there last, they know exactly what happened.
exactly. So we're gonna keep pushing, and we're gonna keep demanding answers. We like Gretchen said, we need that body camera footage released immediately. Any surveillance of footage from any stores or any houses in the area, whether it's a Ring doorbell or anything like that. We need all video and surveillance footage of the incident related to Khalil Azad's death on July 3rd, and that was 2022.
Yes. And you know what makes this matter even worse, more devastating to personally, everybody that loved Khalil, is the fact that we already went through a very moment. The whole world did, with the whole issue of George Floyd, and how we literally watched officers step on his neck and his back and literally take the last breath out of this man's life on live TV, where people were recording this and the whole world saw it. So to have this happen after that, it's like there's no responsibility, there's no remorse, there's no, it's just like there's no compassion for most of these officers. And I know that there are good officers out there that really are doing their job and they deserve to wear their badge. But these officers that are doing this, they are giving those good officers a bad name. And it's because of those bad officers that people are no longer wanting to respect, look up to, and admire the police. So all of these officers that are not being well trained, that do not have no compassion, that are showing no mercy to humans, as if they literally have no soul and have every right to take their breath and their life away from them, they don't need to have those badges. They don't need to serve on the force because they don't know what they're doing. And they're making every good officer out there look very bad, whether they're black, white, Latino, Asian, it doesn't matter. So we want to respect the law, we want to respect authority, but how hard can it be to tell your have to tell your child respect the police, but then you got to say, well, the police killed your uncle, or respect the
I
police.
mean,
Yeah,
when they doing stuff
the
like
dad.
this, why would you stop? Why wouldn't you run? The hell? Listen,
It's making it really
our
hard
people
for
exploit too.
America. It's making it really hard for Black America to look up to officers. My kids, after seeing what they did, Khalil, I got kids right now that in emergency, say if they had an emergency situation, they wouldn't call 911.
Mm.
That's not what you want your child to tell you. Because what about if they're getting chased by a serial killer, a rapist, a murderer? They're supposed to call 911 to get help, and they're afraid because they see how they left Khalil's face, and they said, "I don't want that."
Mm. Exactly. Man, thank you guys for coming up on the show tonight. We're gonna see all you guys 6:30. We'll be at Crystal Lake, and we're gonna continue to demand justice for Khalil. Again, we want the body camera footage released, all the footage of it, and also they asking for investigation into the medical practices or to the practices of the Hennepin County Medical Examiner. Want to end to all canines
Yes.
here in the state of Minnesota until this issue is resolved is also another demand.
Yes.
So I'll see you guys all Thursday. Thank you for all your strength and
Thank
courage,
you.
and we're gonna keep fighting.
You know,
We
another thing that
appreciate
I
you
want to
doing
add to
this.
that before we get off live, you know, we honestly believe the police killed Khalil, and Khalil doesn't even have a headstone. He's sitting there right now without a headstone. He literally got swept under the rug like if he was just, I don't know, some dust. And yeah, in the end, we all go to ashes, but that's not how it should be. I think they're responsible for that. I think somebody should help us to get a headstone. He doesn't
We,
deserve to just be sitting there laying in the dirt.
we definitely think they should do it, but I know some organizations that I could connect you with. Our sister Kim Handy Jones from the Cordell Handy Foundation. I'm gonna reach out to her and connect you guys with her. They've been getting. It's a great thing she does, but we shouldn't have to do it. But she does help give headstones for families of stolen lives. So we'll definitely, actually, and I think his angel anniversary, Cordell Handy's angel anniversary, is coming up this month, or his birthday is coming up. One of the two. So definitely, she'll be in town, and you guys will get to meet too.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll see all of you guys on Thursday.
I
And
appreciate
Okay.
it.
See you there.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
peace. God bless you guys.
And
And thank all of you for tuning in to another episode of the Trent Cruz Show. This show will be rebroadcasted on Black Watch Television on your Roku channel or www.blacktvs.com. Have a prosperous week. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.